Hi everyone, Brian here. Today's video will be covering the best savings and checking accounts available in today's market. Now I realize that inflation is crazy high at the moment and most people want to squeeze the very most they can out of their money. And saving may not seem ideal, but everyone needs to have a minimum emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses. With the average monthly expenses in the US at $5,000, then the average emergency fund should be anywhere between $15,000 to $30,000. Lucky for you, I've already gone ahead and done all the legwork in comparing several banks and narrowing it down to the top 5 options to save you the most money. I guarantee you that I have several you have never heard of, but I can also assure you they are all reputable and they are insured. I will also be providing a free resource for you to be able to do your own quick comparison to see which option is best for you based on how much you plan to have in both your savings and your checking account. In that comparison, I have roughly 12 different banks to give you a very broad perspective. My minimum requirement for my recommendations is that they have to have little or no fees, they all have to have free bill pay, and they have to have access to a lot of ATMs. Seeing as how most people have both a checking and savings account, I'm going to be reviewing them all as a package deal. At one point in my life, I had a separate savings account, and I can't in good faith recommend that to anyone else. It's kind of a pain in the butt to transfer money back and forth, and it also takes nearly a week to complete. Before I get too far along, I need to start with a few disclaimers. First, always check the bank info to ensure that the details haven't changed. With the Fed increasing rates over the next 2 years, the interest rates available from the banks will be constantly changing over time. That and the banks can change their fee structures at any given moment. Next, I feel it's important to provide a baseline for comparison, and that will be Wells Fargo. I have banked with Wells Fargo for over 20 years because I felt, well, they offered the best options for ATMs, and I know that they have a physical branch in almost every city. But is that even relevant anymore?
No, not at all.
I've only had to go to a physical bank maybe 3 times in the past decade. Wells Fargo has to be one of the worst options for a bank, and I do not recommend them to anyone. They have fees tied to everything ranging from basic account fees, minimum balance fees, and most definitely overdraft fees. For reference, the Wells Fargo basic checking account does not accrue any interest. Their platinum savings account has an annual percentage yield of 0.02%, but that's only if you also have a checking account. If not, then it's only 0.01%. The upside to Wells Fargo, they have lots of physical branches, if that's important to you. And they have 12,000 ATMs in the US. The downside to Wells Fargo, they have fees for everything. Their minimum savings balance of $3,500, or you have to pay a $12 account fee each month. They also charge you a $2.50 fee from Wells Fargo if you use an ATM out of their network. And their savings account is only 0.02% if you also have a checking account. Overall, this is a horrible baseline, so we can only improve from here. Let's jump in with a list of much better options, starting with number 5, and that is Axos Bank. And they've also won Best Online Checking Account from Newsweek just a few weeks ago. But to be honest, Axos barely made the cut for me. However, the interest rate is 5 times better than Wells Fargo, so it's a huge step up in that regard. I like it because they have no fees. No overdraft fees, no monthly fees, and to top it all off, they cover all ATM fees. So you have unlimited options for ATMs. The savings account has a 0.61% APY up to $24,999, and then it's 0.25% up to $100,000. And the checking account has an interest rate of 0.4% if you have direct deposit. Here's the kicker with Axos. You can get up to 1.25% on your checking account if you use your debit card 10 times a month or have a personal finance manager, have managed portfolios, have self-directed trading, and a bit more if you have a loan through them. I have a link to each bank below so you can easily look up the details on your own. Plus, I list these requirements in the tool that I'll go over at the end of this video. Overall, Axos offers the traditional bundle and save mentality. So what do I like about Axos? No fees. Unlimited ATM options, seeing as they're all covered for the fees. 0.4% APY on the checking, 0.61% APY on the savings up to the $25,000. Moving to the downside of Axos, no physical stores. Not that that's really a deal breaker for me. They also have those extra hoops to jump through to get that full 1.25% on their checking account. Axos is by far the worst option for my recommendations, but it is still 30 times better than the savings account versus Wells Fargo. Coming in at number 4 is Evansville Teachers Credit Union. They also won Best High Yield Checking Account. Yes, it is a credit union, but it's open for everyone to join. So long as you have $5 in your account, then you are an active member of the credit union. The reason I like credit unions is because they are a not-for-profit agency, so they are going to try to pass along the best rates to its members. In this case, they offer an incredible APY of 3.3% on their vertical checking account up to $20,000 and 0.05% on their vertical savings account. But there is a small catch. You need to use your debit card 15 times or more each month, have a direct deposit into the account, have an online banking login, and receive electronic statements. Those aren't major hurdles for that type of rate. So let's jump into the pros and cons. On the positive side, Evansville Teachers Credit Union offers a 3.3% APY on their checking, 0.05% on their savings. They have no fees, and you can use pretty much any ATM because you get $15 in fees covered each month. So really, you have unlimited ATM options. And the downside for Evansville Teachers Credit Union, no interest on anything in the checking account above $20,000. There's also limited physical stores. They have 28 branches across Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. But once again, not that big a deal in my mind. And they also have all those extra requirements to hit that interest rate. And if you don't meet the requirements, then you lose all the benefits. Moving on to number 3, Tri-County Bank, that also won the best checking account for a physical bank. This bank is located in rural Nebraska with only 4 branches. It is not a huge operation, but they offer a fantastic yield on their checking and savings accounts. The minimum to open an account is low at only $25, and their interest for their checking account is at 4% up to $10,000, and then it's at a rate of 0.35% for anything above that. For the savings account, it is at 1% up to $15,000, and everything over that also caps out at 0.35%. Overall, those are some stellar rates if you have accounts that are around $10,000 each. But once again, they have some requirements similar to Evansville Teachers Credit Union. Not horrible, but they are some hoops to jump through. Here's what I like about the Tri-County Bank. Their checking account gets a 4% APY. The savings account gets 1% APY. From there, you get 0.35% above everything over the max payout. There are no fees, and the ATMs are essentially unlimited because you get a $4.99 fee covered for every transaction. And here's what I don't love about the Tri-County Bank. There's limited physical stores, and they also have those extra requirements in order to hit the offered rate. And in this case, if you do not hit all those requirements, then you only get 0.05% interest rate, which is still over 2 times better than Wells Fargo, but not awesome. Moving on to number 2, which is Aspiration Plus. This is one that may surprise a lot of people out there, but there are a lot of aspects that I love about this account and a couple that I don't like. Right out of the gate, Aspiration Bank operates very differently than any other bank. They truly aspire to be a better company for the community. For example, they donate 10% of every dollar customers pay and give it to charity. You can also round up purchases where they will use the funds to plant trees. In fact, they planted over 75 million trees in the past year alone. They also calculate the carbon output from each customer's fuel purchase, and then they purchase offsets. To date, they have offset over 36,000 metric tons of CO2. And here's another odd feature. The fees that they charge for things like wire transfers are only at cost. They leave it up to the customers to pay the fee over and above what they feel is fair, even if that's $0. Let's move on to the details of the account. They offer a 5% APY on the savings up to $10,000 and 0.1% on anything over that. You also need to spend at least $1,000 a month on their debit card. Sadly, they offer no interest on their checking account. The savings account interest rate is high, but the downside is that this account comes with a monthly fee of $5.99. They do offer a non-fee account option that has a 3% APY, and I have that in my free tool that you can use to run a comparison on. In addition, this account does come with a few other perks like double the manufacturer's warranty on purchases, satisfaction guarantee, which will give you a full refund on any item purchased within 60 days if the store won't allow a return, and phone protection up to $600 if you pay your monthly phone bill with your debit card. Here's what I like about Aspiration Plus. They have 55,000 ATMs, and I have a link to the ATM locator in the details below. They have 1 ATM fee covered each month for using out-of-network use. It comes with a 5% APY, and they are a better for the environment company. And they also come with the extra perks that I discussed earlier. And you can also get your paycheck 2 days earlier with direct deposit. Now on to the downsides of Aspiration Plus. It has that monthly fee of $5.99 in order to get the 5%. If not, they have the free option for the 3%. Unfortunately, the checking account has no interest. And once again, they have no physical stores. On top of all that, you have to charge a minimum of $1,000 a month on your debit card. Before I go on to number 1, make certain that you stay for the bonus section where I cover the free tool you can use to run a comparison of the banks to see which one is best for you and your account balances. I've done all the work. You may as well use it to save yourself a lot of time and effort. And finally, moving on to the number 1 bank that I've selected, and that is SoFi Bank. Here's why SoFi made the top of my list. They offer 55,000 ATMs. It is a simple account structure with no major hurdles to jump through. It's 1.25% APY on both the savings and the checking accounts. Like the other accounts, this has a no-fee structure, and they have access to 55,000 ATMs. To put that into context, Wells Fargo has 5 ATMs within a 10-mile radius of my house, and SoFi offers me 50 ATMs in that same area. SoFi also offers a sign-on bonus anywhere from $50 to $300 depending on how much you direct deposit in a 30-day period. In the short term, the savings from the bonus blows away the competition. You can also get your paycheck up to 2 days earlier with direct deposit. They also have the perk of up to 15% cash back with local offers. For me, there's only one real downside with SoFi, and that is no physical stores. But once again, that really doesn't bother me. But as I had said earlier, I've only had to go to a physical bank 3 times in the past decade, and those were non-essential reasons that any other bank could have handled via their website. Now on to the bonus section. At the beginning of the video, I had mentioned that with the Fed increasing the rates over the next year, you can expect the rates on these bank accounts to also change. And because I can't easily update my video, I will, however, update my shared spreadsheet in the link below. Because everyone's needs are slightly different, I have 12 banks listed in the spreadsheet where you can enter your expected balance by savings and checking account. From there, it will list out what you would be making in a year's time based on the APY that's offered. The tool really helped me to see how different each offer truly is based on my account balances. And the best option for someone that has $4,000 in their account is drastically different from someone that has $10,000 or even $40,000. I'll go through a quick example with the sheet. We'll start by having $20,000 in checking and $2,000 in savings. And as you can see that SoFi offers the best interest with $275. Now let's flip that around and have $20,000 in savings and $2,000 in checking. With that flip, then you quickly see that Evansville Teachers Credit Union is hands down the best option with $661 in interest at the end of the year. That is a substantial difference by simply adjusting what you have in each account. It's a great little tool, so use it. Overall, I sincerely hope that you found some value in this video, so please help out by hitting the like button and consider subscribing. Thanks so much.